Good morning. I'm so glad that you could join us today for our story together. Today we're going to be reading The Name Jar by Yoon Suk Choi. Through the school bus window, Yooni looked out at the strange buildings and houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day, and she was both excited and nervous. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Yooni's tears and handed her an ink pad with a small red satin pouch. "Your name is inside," she had said. "My name?" Yooni had wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. She ran her fingers along the grooves and the ridges of the Korean characters. She had pictured her grandmother's smile. "Is that thing for show and tell?" a boy asked Yooni, surprising her. And Yooni looked up as more kids leaned over. "No, it's mine," Yooni answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. "Are you new here? What's your name?" a girl asked. "Yooni," said Yooni. "Yoni," the girl said, scrunching up her face. "Uni," said a kid as they chanted. No, Yooni, corrected. It's spelled U-N-H-E-I. It's pronounced Yooni. "Oh, it's you-hey," said the boy, like you-hey, or what about hey you? Just then the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Yooni hurried to get off. "You-hey, bye-bye," the kids yelled as she left, and Yooni felt herself begin to blush. Yooni stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. "Aren't you going in?" asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. "You're the new girl, right?" he asked cheerfully. Yooni nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. "Hey, the new girl's here," he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Kokotos, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotos thanked him and greeted Yooni. "Please come and welcome our newest student," he said to the class. "She and her family just arrived from Korea last week." Yooni smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. "What's your name?" someone shouted. Yooni pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet," she told the class, "but I'll let you know next week." Mr. Kokotos showed her to her desk, and she felt many small, round, curious eyes on her. "Why doesn't she have a name?" she heard someone whisper. "Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity," a boy replied. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Yooni kept thinking about her name. "How was school, Yooni?" her mother asked when she walked in. "Did you understand the teacher?" Yooni simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and the red pouch and put the red pouch by the photograph of her grandmother. "I'm glad you're learning English well," her mother said. "You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you are a good Korean." "I will," replied Yooni, but I think I would like my own American name," she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with a surprise. "Why? Yooni is a beautiful name. Your grandmother and I went to a name master for it." "But it's hard to pronounce," Yooni complained. "I don't want to be different from all the American kids." "You are different, Yooni," her mother said, "and that's a good thing." Yooni wrinkled up her nose. Later that day, Yooni and her mother went grocery shopping in the new neighborhood. They passed Fidel's Fawful, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to King's Market. The sign was both in English and Korean. Her mother picked up cabbage to make chimki, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage, and the other vegetables and meats. She found some seaweed, Yooni's favorite for soup. It made Yooni smile. "Just because we moved to America," her mother said, "doesn't mean we stop eating Korean food." At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Yooni. "Helping your mother with the shopping?" he asked, and Yooni nodded. "I'm Mr. Kim," he said, "and what's your name?" "Yooni," she answered. "Ah, what a beautiful name," he said. "Doesn't that mean grace?" Yooni nodded again. "My mother and grandmother went to the name master for it," she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said as he put their groceries into bags. Welcome to our neighborhood, Uni. That evening, Uni stood in front of the bathroom mirror. Hi, my name is Amanda, she said cheerfully, and then she wrinkled her nose. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right, and nothing felt right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. She said into the mirror as with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning, when Uni arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Uni took one out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Uni took out the rest of the paper. Tamala, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. Uni nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday. Yeah, you came here on Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. And a smile spread over Uni's face. Ralph quickly said, we'll put some more names in, and you can pick whatever name you like, or you can pick them all, and you can have the longest name in history. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day, and Uni looked out the window and saw that it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place, and she watched the kids leaving in groups. Hey, said a familiar voice as he called out to her. Uni turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, he said, and you? Don't you have any name? Uni thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and she took out the small red pouch and she pressed the wooden block in the ink pad and then stamped it on the piece of paper. This is my name, she said. My grandmother gave it to me. In Korea, I could use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I can use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper, and the red characters gleamed across the paper. Wow, that is beautiful, said Joey. Can I keep the paper? Sure, said Uni. And then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day the jar got fuller and fuller with names, and Uni read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex. These are my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. And everyone thought about this for a minute. When Uni got home from school that day, her brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandmother, and she opened it quickly. It said, To my Uni, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are, and no matter how different America is for Korea, you will always be my Uni, your grandmother forever. Uni took out her wooden stamp and filled the paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of that bathroom mirror. On Saturday, Uni walked to Mr. Kim's store, and Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and he greeted her. Hey, Uni. Hello, Mr. Kim, Uni replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. Hey, said a customer turning around. It was Joey. Your name is Uni? He asked her with his eyes open wide. Uni looked quickly at Mr. Kim and then turned to Joey, and she nodded slowly. Yes, you pronounce it Uni. And it means grace, said Mr. Kim. Uni, Joey said slowly, and this time he said it perfectly, and it made Uni smile. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow, said Mr. Kim to Joey. Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you on Monday, Uni, Joey said to her. And he left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Uni came to class early to look at the names one last time, but the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was just a single piece of paper, a paper with a name on it, and Uni slipped it into her pocket. "Where's your name jar?" Ralph asked as soon as he saw that it was gone. "I don't know," said Uni. "It wasn't on Mr. Kokito's desk or on any other desk. It wasn't on the counter or on the shelves." As the other kids arrived, they helped and looked. Soon Mr. Kokitos came in and Ralph shouted at him, "The name jar is gone! Where is the name jar?" "Gone?" said Mr. Kokitos. With a look of concern, he asked Uni, "Did you get a chance to read all the names?" And Uni nodded. She took a breath. "I'm ready to introduce myself," she said. Uni wrote her name in both English and Korean on the chalkboard. "I liked all the beautiful and funny names that you thought of for me," she told the class, "but I realized that I liked my name best. So I chose it again. Korean names mean something," Uni said, "and Uni means grace." "Grace," shouted Ralph. Everybody tried to say, "Uni, Uni, Uni." Uni said her name again slowly and clearly, and soon the kids began to say it even better, even Mr. Kokitos. They applauded Uni's choice. "I was named after a flower," Rosie said. "Lots of American names have meanings too," Mr. Kokitos reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Uni heard her friends say goodbye. "Goodbye, Uni, see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Uni." Uni said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone. "Uni, Uni, come downstairs," Mother called up. "Uni, your friend is here." And Uni rushed to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was the name jar. "Where did you find it?" asked Uni. Joey looked a little embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name, and you did." He reached in and he pulled out the names. "Do you want to keep them?" he asked. "Thank you. I'll keep them for a souvenir," Uni said happily, and then she pulled out a piece of paper from her pocket. "Do you want this back?" And Joey grinned. "You can keep it. I'll return the name jar to the class. Maybe you could put in some Korean nicknames in it for us, names with good meanings." "I could do that," agreed Uni. "I already got my Korean nickname," said Joey. "Mr. Kim helped me choose it." Carefully, he pulled out a silver felt pouch from his pocket, and then he took out a dark wooden stamp with beautiful Korean characters carved sharply into it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the paper next to her name. "Chinku," read Uni. "That means friend." And Chinku smiled back. The end. Thank you so much for joining us for our story today. You can click on the link below to find some activities that you may want to do that goes along with this book. Have a great week. Bye.